Hello, everybody. It's a bit nippy out there, isn't it? I've had to get, well, I don't know what I've left my electric furry blanket behind, and I'd rather be snuggling under it. It's so cold all of a sudden. Well, let's hope that tonight we can warm your little teacherly hearts. We're going to have a dollop of reading CPD tonight, and we're going to really get under the skin of what it means to actually just sharpen up because we've got some great practice out there, just some little moments to really improve the teaching of reading. So come along with me, all you lovely CPD seekers. And I know some of you are here for the first time. So who's who and what is what? Well, I'm Jane Considine, and I'm going to be talking tonight ever such a lot about book talk, and I'm going to explain it as clearly as I can. And I'm on the coffee, so I reckon this could be quite a clear one, really. Sometimes we have a little drink. You can drink. It is Sunday, but I just thought I'm going to keep this straight down the line tonight for you. I'll have a little drink afterwards. Also here we've got Ian Considine. I'm going to put Ian on the screen now for all of you. He is Ian's Mr. C. I'm married to Ian. Stop us having maritals. He is the live chat guy. He's going to make us some.
Don't know in the chats. It's been me that responds. We're having a couple of technical issues in the background here, but as usual, nothing new about that, Jane.
Yeah, it gets a bit tricky sometimes with updates and uploads and AI and all that. I'm real. I'm fully real, believe. It's the real McCoy. Do let us know who's out there because we've got some regulars, and let us know if you're a newbie. Where are you from? We want to know. And I've been visiting so many schools lately. I might have recently met you. I might have recently professionally kissed you. I like to do that. Get so excited when we really make some breakthroughs. Okay, the whole of tonight is about reading and talking because we know that reading, well, we're not even. Listen, we know the research is ironclad, the game changing difference it makes. We're already 100% converted. That's why we're in the profession, of course. Our dilemma is a bit more around the issue of time, isn't it? How much time have we really got to dedicate to reading? And reading is very different, I think, from many other parts of the curriculum. It has a slowness. It means that we're not doing things at a pelt. We've got to lean into the language and the words. In fact, we know, Marianne Wolf's work, children have to hear a word 15 times before they'll even take a risk and use it themselves. So, the first thing I want to chat about is there anybody on tonight? Because we've had so many glitches, Ian. Have we got people with us? Oh, welcome, welcome. Oh, Facebook. Oh, Facebook collapsed on us. Good riddance, Facebook. Oh. All right. Great. Everyone else gather round. Okay, so time is the most precious commodity of all. We know that. And actually, once we've got phonics in place for Key Stage 1, um, I'm actually talking beyond phonics today and integrated within phonics, that kind of nitty gritty. Where are we teaching the pleasure principle of reading, reading for meaning, the big stuff, and how much time is dedicated to that? Well, I'm going to open a can of worms now and like, oh, sod it, And I don't know if I can solve all of your timetable crunch issues, to be honest. But for effective reading teaching, bare minimum, we need 40 minutes, 40 minutes of time. Now, all of us, probably for donkey's years, have worked hard at getting in 10 minutes every day, which is like your class reader. You know, we're going to let language wash over them. We're going to propel them through a plot. And we're going to make sure they actually can meet non-fictions and poetry. And we're going to read all sorts. But what I am going to say tonight is just have a little chat with yourself. When you do your 10-minute read, um, there is an opportunity to have it on a visualizer because sometimes when you're holding a book at the front of the class, it can be a bit wonky. And you know, that kind of access for all that children can see the words. And if it's a picture book, can see the images, and it's really clear. Um, Many of you know that I adore visualizers. They can really sharpen up modeling and clarity for teaching, and reading's no different. So you know, get those books under a visualizer when we're reading so that children can read along with you, you know, follow the words if they want to. Okay, now I'm not going to talk about this 10 minutes here. uh, I'm actually going to talk about um 30 minutes of where we are working on the teaching and learning of reading engagement, and we're actually digging deeper with text to get children to really connect with the language and draw meaning down from it. So these don't have to be next to each other. We could have 10 minutes every day. I know many of us talk about it not falling off the timetable cliff because if we've put it at the end of the day, we might lose it. Yeah. For all sorts of reasons, we've lost it. It's fallen off the edge, or you know, it's only 3 minutes. So maybe it goes at the beginning of the day or before lunch. You know, you do you, that sort of thing. Um, I want to zoom in to this half hour. Okay, now we have got 4 Sunday sessions. We've got a little suite of reading CPD happening, and tonight is number 1 of 4. And what I'm going to do is show you where we are in our thinking tonight, and and actually what's going to happen down the line. But first things first, this half an hour slot of time that we're calling book talk, where the focus is nothing's written down here. You know, we are reading or talking about books. There's no writing. We've got this I was going to say a word. Thank you. I can't say it. Forget it. Don't try. A very special, precious space that you've ring fenced. You work it out. Um, so that we can read and talk about books, no writing whatsoever. And this half an hour session happens twice on a weekly timetable. So it could happen on Thursday or Friday. It could happen on Monday and Tuesday. And the reason why I'm not trying to teach to suck eggs here, but I actually do this as a visual, is they don't have to run concurrently. So you could have a half an hour book talk session on a Monday and a half an hour session on a Friday. You all get that, don't you? But twice a week, whatever age kids we are teaching, from year 1 upwards, we are going to have uh, twice a week 2 half-an-hour book talk sessions. Oh dear, I'm not very good with numbers. I'm getting all scrambled there. I'm so used to having words in my mouth and I have to explain numbers, it all goes awry. Okay, so the focus of this Sunday session is how does book talk practically work in the classroom? Now, I know some of you are thinking, aren't you? Were you thinking this, Mr. C? Yeah. Hmm, maybe he was. Maybe it was just on Twitter. Don't know. You work it out. We are going to have the further sessions, which are going to be a deep exploration of the reading unit plans. Now, some of you have already found the reading unit plans, some of you haven't found them yet, but this is going to be very timely because we're going to explore how to use them, and I'm letting you know there are hundreds in our library. So, this is an explanation of using the reading unit plans, and that's coming next week, the week after, and the week after that. But tonight, lock your brains in. We are doing book talk. Okay. Um, if you want a step by step guide where I'm holding your hand on how to roll out book talk in your classroom, make it live and breathe in the teaching and learning exchange, then the book you need is Hooked on Books. And Ian, even though it's all going awry with tech here, we haven't argued once, let me tell you. Not once. He's created a book lover code for us, which is basically it's a code. You punch in book lover and you get 20% off the Hooked on Books book if you buy it from the Training Space website. Um,
Explain the QR code, please.
Oh, yes, I can. Now, on every page, we've got a QR code. Now, if you're a bit of an old duffer like me, you might have only just learned about QR codes. So basically, you open your phone, you hold your camera up to the QR code, and if you're watching on YouTube or not on Facebook because we lost them, Sodom. You can go straight to our website and it will send you there and help you out. It saves you getting lost in Google, all of that. Okay. Right. Book
Could
talk.
you bring that down a little bit, Jane? Because you can see it's broken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that good, Mr. C? Got
Yeah,
that?
you see, you're broaching. You want, and you've seen what we're seeing on our screen is what you're seeing on your screen. So, see, you got part of the text in.
Okay, so basically, we're going to talk now about why book talk is so crucial because we've got to give children proper amounts of time to read and we can't rush it. There needs to be this sense that they're getting a chance to deeply read because they need a certain amount of content under their belt. We know that we've got to improve their fluency for reading, their flow, their smoothness, and then we're going to assist them in having deep conversations about books. But more than any of that, as they're talking about books, we're going to help them talk comprehension answers without picking up a pencil or a pen. That is the key principle of book talk. We're supposed to be enjoying it, actually. They're supposed to be enjoying it. And we are facilitating for them time to read and have deep conversations. Okay, now I'm going to talk now about two very different ways that book talk can be organised, and you can take quite a flexible approach. We are actually caught between two science of learning moments, which is we know that children really work well and make good progress with strong dynamic whole class teaching, and we when we're in that mode are really really strong, uh, but the other and not a but, probably not a but, when we're working with the same text, and we everybody in the class has got rooftopers, let's say, um, we our teacher-led work, means that we can keep all the children together. Now, there's another way which has enormous benefits as well, where we have differentiated texts. And we organise our class. So we've got 5 groups, let's say 5 attainment groups, but from their perspective, it feels whole class. Now, what I'm going to show you tonight can work for both situations, but specifically, I want to explain how to work with differentiated texts in the room so that children can access them very neatly for reading, uh, but we can make it feel whole class. Okay. And this is where, you know, one group might have fossil hunters, another group has got, um, you know, roof toppers, another group has got The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You know, groups have got different things. You know, one group's got Biff and Chips, Big Day Out. You get me? You know, like to their needs. Okay. So have a look here. Uh, just for the hell of it, I'm going to talk through 3 groups, but you could move between 3 all the way up to 6. But I always think 5's quite neat because, you know, over a cycle of 2 weeks, we could get a lot of, you know, information for different groups across the class. Now, what we want them to do is read like detectives. And we want them to be on the lookout, very much so, for gathering evidence to qualify their ideas and talk. Okay, now, like all things where we're trying to drive improvement, and obviously we know reading has been hurt recently post COVID. Reading has been hurt by the financial crisis. We're all worrying about words, and we know that children need to read more and differently. Um, they might be reading on screens or text messages, but we need a different sort of level of reading. Now, to systematically change that, we are going to introduce the reading rainbow. Now, the reading rainbow is fully comprehensive, it's colourful, it's a visual aid that down the line becomes a mental model for how we're going to explore different texts. But when you look at the reading rainbow, um, it's going to help us teach with lenses for looking, almost like in our mission to read in a closer and deeper way, we're going to have lenses for looking. And these lenses um, need to be both wide and deep. Now, the reading rainbow is organized into 3 tiers. Um, we've got the fantastic tier, and I'm going to talk about that in a moment. This is related all to the ideas of reading. Now, many of you who are working with the writing rainbow, we've got the ideas of writing, and this is where it shares the same tier. So that's the ideas of reading. The second tier, I'll talk about this layer in a moment, the stylistics tier. These are lenses that we've been very familiar with in teaching for donkey's years. Things like, you know, getting children to look at setting. You know, as they're reading, or getting them to explore the characters, you know. So these are all lenses that we've been very comfortable with looking through during our teaching and learning. And then this bottom tier, the analytics, these start to get a little bit trickier because we're asking children to do things like consider the deeper messages in stories. But all of these lenses are critical to strengthen their reading for meaning capabilities. Okay, now that's quite an adult definition, but from the kids' perspective, think dual coding. These um, lenses for looking will be dealt with in one half an hour session, and the children will be directed with 3 reasons to read. And that half an hour of looking will be broken up, mainly for cognitive overload reasons, into 3 10-minute chunks. I'll explain more about that down the line. Okay, let's just do a bit of a rewind and have a look at the fantastic tier. So, this represents the 9 ideas for reading. And it really doesn't matter if we're Michael Morpurgo or Julia Donaldson, I should say, changing her name left, right, and centre. What am I like? Um, whoever the author is, in fact, whatever we're reading, whether it's War and Peace or Gruffalo, at the point of writing, an author has 9 choices, and they can push their ideas through either the 5 senses, so the sense of sight, the, the sense of touch, taste, smell, or sound. And then I also like to think about the fantastics like this: feelings, action, speech, and thought. So if we're reading, Matilda by Roald Dahl, we then can show children, look, get out of here, Mrs. Trunchbull raged. And we can show them that this is dialogue that Roald Dahl has chosen to include here at this moment. In fact, how I want you to think about, I might need to, let's see if I can add a page here. Oh no, I've got a bit of space here. This is exciting. Let me do that. Um, you know, if we're looking at chapter 2, um, of Jacqueline Wilson's Vicky Angel, and the end of chapter 2 is actually a car crash. So I want to be able to show children what is the main picture, what is the main plot point that Jacqueline Wilson wants us to imagine in our mind's eye. Well, it's a car crash, you know, insert awful drawing of cars. Um, then has that got positive or negative intent? Yeah, well, it's a car crash. It's got negative intent. And then that final paragraph at the end of chapter 2, what lenses is Jacqueline Wilson leaning on? Well, yeah, so let's have a look what she is leaning on. She starts with negative sound. Then there's sentences that are about negative sight. Then there's negative thoughts. Um, and it ends with negative touch. So those are the 4 lenses that she leans on to create the car crash event at the end of chapter 2. So all experienced authors are working through the 9 lenses, and there are no more than 9, there are no less than 9. So the writer's intent when reading is really, really critical. And we can help children start looking at reading in that way. So here, he was surrounded by a curtain of dancing water that looked like thousands of tiny diamonds dropping from the sky. I can start showing children, look, that the author has quite literally taken their pen or pencil, typewriter. It's not called, the words, and pushed it through this lens of looking, and we've created this really fabulous positive atmosphere. And then, here what has been the big intent of the writing? Negative action. It flicked its huge rubbery tongue, prodding and poking until it found the chest and sucked out the heart of its sleeping victim. So these different modes of writing, whether we're on the smiley or sad face of the street, means that children can understand it for reading, but can also understand it for writing. So we know, don't we? We know this that metacognition is at the top of the science of learning progress sort of drawer, top drawer. Um, and what does that mean in terms of sharpening how we're teaching writing and that link with reading? So, what I want us to do more visibly, more obviously, is when we're teaching thinking for writing, we've actually got a bubble above our heads so that when we're trying to think of ideas, we're showing children, look, I've got this image in my mind's eye that I want my reader to receive, go beyond the words and receive in their mind's eye. And this is about Ruby's worry getting bigger, and it's this writing's going to have negative intent. And I'm going to really sharpen up my writing and talk about how she's feeling. And so this is the thinking for the writing, and then it'll have the words on the page. And then your reader receives these words, and in their mind's eye, they get this image and they get this sense that it's negative and that the author's writing about feelings. So it's this passing over almost with a thinking bubble to kind of join the ideas together. Now, um, obviously there, my mind went blank. I was gonna draw something beautiful there. Forget it's probably rubbish. I'm not very good at drawing. So back in the room, I don't want to lose you. You got half an hour. Are you listening, Mr. C? I
Half,
don't think he is.
yeah,
Got to keep, he keeps me motivated by nodding and smiling. He's not doing a lot of nodding. I think he's getting stressed about his computer tonight. Have you got any questions, Mr. C? Has everyone been
no, well,
roll on? That's told me.
it's only your Facebook lot that do the questions.
Oh, it's our Facebook group that are normally the chitter chatterers. Oh well. So, um, we have got YouTubers. You come on, YouTubers. You can ask us something. We might even have our first YouTube question.
It's not the first one, but
Okay, so we've got half an hour of time, and we are going to chunk that half an hour into 3 reasons to read. So, our first reason gets taken from the fantastic tier. I'm going to choose one of the ideas, and I'm going to ask the children to read for about 6 to 7 minutes. They've all got their own book. Yeah. If you're organizing it in the differentiated way, they've got their own book, but they're in a little clump of togetherness. They're all the Catherine Rundells, yeah, or all the Biff and Chips, yeah. They're all together. They've got their book, and I'm asking them to read around the group or read in pairs, or even they can read to themselves. You can organize them how you want, but I want them to feel like they're a group when it comes to the talking, and they're reading for 6 or 7 minutes. And I'm generally saying, as you read, the most important thing is that you read like a detective and that you need to know the meaning that the author wanted you to take from the book. That's the big stuff. But as you read like a detective, I want you to be on the lookout for feelings. Can you notice any smiley or sad face feelings in your book? So I send them off and they read for about 6 or 7 minutes. 6 or 7 minutes, quite a long time to read. So off they go. Now, What I do then is, and just so you know the sort of thing that might be happening, after the 6 or 7 minute read has taken place, I get them to talk about the feelings that they have found. So they're beginning now. So I've marked this, but they would just be pointing with their fingers. They're beginning to find things in here that are clues about feelings. Now, one of the things that really sharpens this up is when not only do I want them to find feelings, I want them to start kind of being aware, is it positive or negative that they're starting to discover? Mr. Mollusk hates anything that doesn't make money. Yeah, so we begin to get some sense about his emotions and his feelings. So smiley face and sad face. Oh, I've got a smiley face and sad face here. Oh, I can't show anything yellow. Don't show it.
Try
Oh,
it. You might-
try it. Try it. You might like it today. Can you see it?
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
See through, but
bit see through. But essentially, I often have smiley and sad faces around the classroom so that we can pin it down a little bit more. Brilliant. Now, we've got another group working with this book here by Jill Lewis, A Story Like the Wind. And this is a bit more of your kind of mid-ranger book. And again, this is a story about a little refugee boy, and there's a lot of sad actual feelings coming through in this book, but the children are beginning to talk about it and get some ideas. Brilliant. And then we've got one group with lights on cotton rock. Um, and this is before Heather finds her way, uh, and feeling like she's enjoying her life on planet Earth instead of trying to just always be up with the aliens. But she is hoping and yearning that she'll meet her star friend again. Yeah, so we've got lots of interesting feelings coming through. Now, how this is organized is like this. I They've got books, they're in groups or whole class. I get them to read for 6 or 7 minutes. The lens for looking is in the room. But once I want them to firm up their chat, they are going to move through building a comprehension answer that has 3 component parts. Okay, first part, just because I know that their language is really low, I'm going to insist that they talk to me in a certain way. And I'm going to give them reading sentence stems. So they'll always have a way to begin because sometimes for lots of kids, it's just getting going. So that would be shared. A positive, negative emotion is revealed, and they're all beautifully generic, and they can lean on them with their text. It doesn't matter what text they're reading, they'll have this sort of beautifully generic way in that they can make their own when they've got their book, because knowledge and context is king, and it then has meaning when they attach all the information about their book. Now, you'll notice the next thing they have to do, of course, is add more. They've got to finish this and then talk about their book. Now, because we're doing it in talk, they're going to do air inverted commas, which means when they want to use evidence from the text, a bit like those little chunks that we highlighted, and they want to say, Mr. Mollusk hates anything that doesn't earn money, rather than say in the class, Mr. Mollusk hates anything that doesn't earn money, it goes a bit like this: Mr. Mollusk hates anything that doesn't earn money. And let me tell you, I am so particular about that. It's not like this, Mr. Mollusk hates anything. They're not just it's opening the inverted commas, closing the inverted commas, exactly orally at the moment where we can still be really rigorous and robust using evidence from the text, but we're doing that in talk. Oh, it's so good. And if they're younger, or we're mainly maybe not even younger, but we're leaning on picture books. We want the other strategy. I'm looking around here for a picture book. I haven't brought one. I would love to be organised, but we open. It's all right, bit late, Mr. C. We'll. You're supposed to be my Oh, who's the one with all the glitter? With the the magician. Uh Debbie McGee. You're supposed to be with sewing all your own glitter on and sequins and bring me things when I need them. But yeah, pointing to pictures when you want to use pictures as evidence. Um, will children need to be coached on this? Yes. Will they need lots of examples? Of course. Will Mrs. Gibb have to show us? Will we need to record older children doing little videos of it to show it to younger children? Yes, yes, and yes. But this is superb at strengthening talk. And then the third thing they're going to do is they are going to use book talk bonus words. And book talk bonus words are basically high utility words that are beautifully generic, but actually illuminate different types of thinking. Yeah. So they're very kind of thinking based words when we're trying to explain what an author is doing. Now, oh, we've got another QR code. Exciting, isn't it? Yeah, of course I can. So we've got a QR code here, which gives us a damn good link. Remember your book lover code to high utility words that we can use in early years, year one. Rather than just like here's a bank of high utility words, we've collected from English subject leaders around the UK who have let us know what has really impressed us when children have used them in book talk sessions, and then we've tracked them for frequency. So, the more frequent they are, we've given them to younger groups. The less frequent they are, we've given them to older groups. So here, this is year five. Just a couple of examples here. Words like enhance. So the picture enhances. So children will be directed twice a week to include these beautiful illuminating your thinking words.
That's so Brummagem. It's enhance.
What have I said?
You said
Rummy? What?
enhance.
Enhance? What? What?
Enhance.
Enhance, darling. Darling, enhance. Reveal, and so on and so forth. So these are, can I be really brummy? These are bloody brilliant. Love it. Boston. Excellent. Now, not only that, we have a resource called the Reading Thinking Kits. And the Reading Thinking Kits, I didn't mean to write in red, but I've started, so I'll finish. The Reading Thinking Kits provide for us a lovely bank of generic, beautiful sentence starters that can be applied to whatever we're reading, and a really lovely mix of some high utility words, I should say, but other words that are very relevant to action. Very connected. So, kind of add another dimension as well. But these are for schools who are.
Have you shown them in your hand?
Oh, yeah, let me show you what they look like. So, when we have a reason to read, think like this, teaching reading like a detective. We pick up a lens one at a time. You've got your magnifying glass. I want you to look closely as you read, kids. And as you read, if we're looking through the lens of impact, this is right down at the bottom of the rainbow. So this is a bit of a tricky one. But what impact is your reader trying to have on you? Is it positive or negative? And we've got lots of sentence stems here. The writer's intended impact at this point is um, a huge impact on our impression. Yeah, and so forth. I've read that bit wrong, bit clumsy. But then here are lots of language that we can use to enhance our discussion. We've got one here, trawling for evidence as well. So,
The green screen now, Jane.
what purple?
No, the purple's fine, but the blue.
Oh, good job I chucked it away quickly. I hope people can't hear. He's got some really good jokes, but I don't think his mic's on tonight. So
Working.
mic's not working. So yeah, yeah. Okay. Here we go then. Now, this is really important uh, and less important if we're doing whole class teaching. But if you're doing the differentiated approach, which I just love this space for children to have a book that they can cope with, um, we're going to listen to one group so they read for about 6 minutes. They they get ready in their talk for about 3 minutes. I've got a minute to listen to just one group at the end of that 10-minute section. And when I listen to that one group, they have to talk the sentence stem. They have to talk about their book and use the one promoted high utility word uh, as a kind of a conversational chunk, but they have to do it so well and so clearly because the rest of the kids in the class haven't read the book. So this is that group being put into this teaching and learning exchange that rely on the art of communication. This is really critical. Now, what I sometimes see, and this is just something to check in with yourself, and I sometimes at risk of this as well when I do whole class reading teaching, is because you love the class novel, because you love Letters from a Lighthouse by Emma Carroll, and you're reading it and you're going, "Oh, what do you think, Aaron?" And Aaron's saying, "Oh, I'm not sure. And then Aaron gets going, "Oh, Miss, I think he feels really, oh, I know what you mean, Aaron. I know exactly what you mean." And sometimes because of our love of the book, we almost fill in the gaps, and their actual articulation about it is quite low. And so we've got to almost put in talk scaffolds to make sure that they're not opting out of thinking about it, and it isn't just the whole class kind of push on it. uh, But we've got to make sure that they're engaged. And that's why I really do love kind of differentiated book talk, because it's like, have you read it? And what are you talking about? And you know, we can help bolster it and help you, but it's all about reading for meaning. Okay. Um, so yeah, first readings to read. And this is, let's say I'm listening to one group now, and it might be the group that's reading Lights on Cotton Rock. Do not misinterpret me here, because I have typed this up. Oh, actually, I knew I've forgotten something, but I'm going to make sure Mr. C puts it in the YouTube notes. We have got, and you might be looking at this on the screen and saying, "I'd love to have a copy of that." We've got a copy of that. It's called the Step by Step Guides for Book Talk. It is perfect for two staff meetings. It's perfect if you're an English subject leader, and you can download yours because we've got a link in the description.
It's in the description.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I was going to put a QR code, but I thought, you know what? You might be getting sick of QR codes. So I thought, sod it. So yeah, you can download that.
I'll put a
Uh,
link in the group chat.
oh, thank you, Ian. He's putting a link in the group chat so that you can download your step-by-step guides. So, um, this is, you know, a typed up version of what children would articulate. And we are listening in to the group talking about, as in, right, let's have a listen. And as we listen, they've got to explain it so clearly to us because we haven't read the book. So here, both positive and negative emotion is revealed in our book. Oh, this is good. On one level, hope feels positive, but in this story, it is a hope for Heather to. Oh, I've read that wrong. On one level, hope feels positive, but in this story, it is a hope for Heather to leave Earth. And this hints that she's not very happy. So they are talking this and it promotes clarity of explanation. We're going to listen in. Yeah, we really get what you mean because we can feel by your sentence stem construction that you are reading for meaning. Reading for meaning becomes the beating heart of this teaching and learning exchange. Okay, now the second tier on the reading rainbow is called the stylistics, and there are different lenses that are going to really help when we want to look at story, like character, relationships, and setting. There are ones that are particularly good for non-fiction, like finding facts and layout and organization. Um, there are other ones, almost like the main point of reading. Can you draw down logical meaning? Are you making sense of what's been read? And some of these big zoom out ideas here, what is the theme of the story, the big idea? Now, when we set them off to read for their second reason to read, so this is the next 10-minute chunk, they have just finished reading about feelings here, and then they're going to carry on. They don't reread again what they've just read. They carry on reading wherever they are in their book. And our lens for looking for this chunk is going to be relationships. So as you read, I want you to carry on holding the meaning in your head. But who's getting on with a central character? Who's falling out with a central character? Is it positive or negative? Is it smiley face or sad face? They then carry on reading, but when they've read for about 6 or 7 minutes, I introduce then the sentence stem. And when they've got the sentence stem, they're given about 3 minutes to construct a spoken answer. Our main character has a positive or negative relationship with. They apply it to their book. They use air quotes when they're quoting from the text or point to an illustration. And we always give them a book talk bonus word, but there is a rule. They're always allowed to change the tense to make it work, like confirms or confirming. So they can change endings to make it work within their spoken, uh, dialogically built feedback. Great. So finding now evidence about relationships, positive, negative. They're really reading Malamander. In fact, they've got a mix of both. They've identified some things they want to bring into the mix. Excellent. And this is the most difficult book in the room. And then we tune in and we go, right, let's listen to the Malamander group. And as we listen, can we feel that they're reading for meaning? We can feel that they're reading for meaning if they can explain it in such a way that it makes sense to us. Yeah. So we're listening in. And this is why it really helps them if they've got a book that they can access that's working for them. That's really, really crucial. So yeah, you all get that, don't you? And it's the same applied. Now, this third reason to read comes from analytics. And I've already told you this is the trickier tier. We've got a mix of zoom in lenses where we're going to look really closely at stuff. So the sort of lenses that are really close, we've got this one here where we might want them to zoom in to look at language or words. We might actually say to challenge them, can you find for me um, a sentence that has really stuck with you that you think was very evocative or very vivid and you really liked it? Was it positive or negative? And can you begin to explain why you liked it? Um, it might be that we're asking them to look across a whole page of reading to look at negative language that is coming through, almost gathering up as much evidence as they can. So, very kind of close work lenses. But we've also got these zoom out lenses, um, almost like reviewing authors. Are they effective? Are they doing any good? How many stars would you have given them on Amazon? What's your opinion? What's your opinion here? You're on a did it connect with you on a personal level? Can you even think of any intertextual links? Have you read another book like that with the same idea or pictures? Um, when you meet a class or get a class to see the links between other books, that's when you really know you're living in a we love reading school. Oh, they're so gorgeous. When they go, Miss, this is a bit like this book. And you're like, oh my goodness, heartburst. That is adorable. Making the links, joins, and connections between other writers. That's lovely. Okay, so the third reason to read, we're taking from the bottom tier here. What is your personal opinion? And as you read, please reflect closely about the impact the author is trying to have on you. Are they effective at their intended purpose? Are you enjoying it? And what parts did you like or dislike? Sending them off to really shape up their personal opinion. So they're getting some ideas in their group, they're noticing after they're reading. We send them away again with the frame. And you can see here, this relies on very tight running of your room. You've got half an hour. They've got to come into that book talk session and they've all got their books laid out. They know how they work in their group. And sometimes I have a rule like, you're always going to read around the group. You're always going to read two sentences each and pass it on, or a page each if it's a picture book and pass it on. They know how they're going to be organized. I let them read for 6 or 7 minutes more generally. I want you to read for meaning, but be a detective for feelings more generally. Then pull it back. Here's the sentence talk frame. Then it's chitter chatter, and spotlight on one where we listen in for the reading for meaning sort of benchmarking.
Jan, before you move on,
Yes. Have you got a question?
I'm just going to put the QR code over your face there. People need to try and scan it.
Oh, I've got a QR code over my face. I don't know if I don't feel like I've agreed to this.
So you can.
Is that the
This is
step-by-step guides? Love it. They are gonna be an absolute.
link in the chat, and it's a long link. But people might need to do.
I don't. Can they hear you though?
People might do a screenshot and then
Yeah.
copy it. So that will give them the 37-page step-by-step guide to tonight's session.
Yeah. So,
But it's working now. Steve has just told me
what's working?
the link because it wasn't working. The one I put in earlier.
Oh,
So
right.
you can
Great. Is Facebook working? No. Right. Okay. Not to worry. So, remember, get in touch if you want any more help with book talk. We're here to help. Remember to tune in next week as well, because next week is going to be all about the reading unit plans. I know many of you have seen them out there. Some of you have downloaded your free ones, but you're like, I want to know how to really use these. You also know, don't you, that I come into schools and do demonstration book talk lessons. It's one of my favorite things to do. But of course, everybody has to be trained first, and then I'll go in and teach. I do love going and teaching kids. Right, I'm having a little moment here. Now, the last little gift. I don't know if you've ever found our Book Talk interactive reading rainbow. Now, tonight it's not interactive because I've just taken screen grabs, but the reading rainbow interactive tool, and we've got one for Key Stage 1 and one for Key Stage 2, means that you can, when you're in the classroom, give the children the books. You can touch the screen, and this lens for looking, which is action, it then almost opens up a filing cabinet and takes us to um, a a format that provides the talk frame. Now, it gives us instantly a sentence starter into the teaching and learning exchange that all the kids can see here. And this little symbol here means that we can upcycle to a different starter if we wanted to. Um, when we click the year we're on, and this goes from year 1 all the way up to year 6, we've got Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, you click here and it provides bonus words. So we click here
It changes.
and it changes, and we click here. So for example, here, year 4, um, they've been challenged, talk challenged, to include distinguish. And what it means is that we are always driving for quick explanations within our teaching to so they are certain what distinguish means, how we can you know explain it live in the moment. We can have a go. We can give an example.
Just put a QR code on the screen where if they scan that, there's actually a video of you using it, not in class, but in our centre here, so they can see how it actually works.
Great. So I hope you heard Ian there. He's put a link so that you can see it, me using just a QR code for us to, you can see me using the interactive reading rainbow. Oh, it's been a bit sad actually that we've lost a lot of people tonight who were on a different format. Oh, but
Just gone to X.
please tell everybody about next week's. If you've missed a bit of this week's, it's going to stay on YouTube so that you can watch it. Remember as well, on the Training Space website, we've got a free poster for you to download, which is the big guiding principles of reading. We are reading detectives. This is the big stuff. This is what we're trying to do in our school. We want you to read in an alert way. We want you to think hard about reading and understand kind of metacognition, thinking like a reader. We want you to follow lines of inquiry, investigate thoroughly. We want you to put small pieces of evidence together to draw conclusions. And we are always on the lookout for clues and how they interconnect. Book Lover is your code to get 20% off reading resources. And I just want to say thank you. Half a on the nose, just ish, almost on the nose, plus 2 minutes. But sometimes I can go over, which I don't want to take your time up like that because it is a Sunday. I'm going to race home now and have a Prosecco. You do the rest of you this Sunday. You know where I am. I'm definitely going to be here next week, and a big fat PHAT professional big heartburst to you guys as we take part on a mission together to sharpen up reading. Thank you for tonight. See you next week.